There's an old fable about a lion and a mouse. Most people remember the ending. There's a mighty lion trapped in the hunter's net, and then a tiny little mouse appears. And with tiny little teeth and patient effort, the mouse gnaws through the ropes and sets the lion free. And the moral we're usually given is simple: never underestimate the small. But I would like to view this through a different lens. Let's explore today, what if the lion isn't strength? What if the lion is what many of us have spent years worshiping? Willpower, discipline, control, and trying harder. For decades, we've been told that cravings are a character issue. If you're struggling with food, try harder. If you're emotionally eating, try harder. If you're overeating, try harder. If you're exhausted, push yourself harder. If you're overweight, restrict yourself harder. But what happens when a tiny shift in biology accomplishes what years of force could not? What happens when the mouse shows up? Welcome to Incandescent Voltage Luminous Being. My name is Tiffany, and I have been a functional medicine board certified health coach since 2017. Everything shared on this channel is for educational and reflective purposes only and is not medical advice. Remember, you are the keeper of your own current. So please seek medical or mental health support whenever needed. Lately, we are witnessing something fascinating. Women who have spent years battling cravings are starting to report dramatic changes. People taking GLP-1 medications often describe less food noise, less food obsession, less bargaining, and less mental exhaustion around food. Women beginning hormone replacement therapy frequently report stable moods, better sleep, reduced emotional vitality, fewer cravings, and improved resilience. And suddenly the question emerges, were these people lacking discipline, or were they lacking support? And this is where I think this kind of a conversation is going to be very important, because our culture loves the lion. We celebrate force and grit and pushing through. We celebrate the woman who ignores her body and keeps going. And we really celebrate the woman who survives on caffeine and determination and treats exhaustion like some kind of a badge of honor. The woman who can override every signal her body sends. But eventually, the body starts speaking louder through cravings and fatigue, through emotional vitality and weight changes, through sleep disruption and food obsession, through the constant feeling that you're fighting yourself. And when that happens, most people assume they need more lion energy, more force, more restriction, more control. Yet what we are seeing in many modern inventions suggests something entirely different. Sometimes behavior changes because biology changes, not because someone became more morally superior, not because they finally discovered the magical secret of discipline, and not because they suddenly became stronger than everybody else. But the body became more supported. And when support arrives, the struggle often softens. And this is why I don't view GLP-1 medications or hormone replacement therapy as heroes. I view them as teachers. Whether someone chooses these interventions or not, it's a deeply personal decision. Please educate yourself very thoroughly on all possible side effects and discuss it very in depth with your healthcare team. But they reveal something very profound. They reveal that biology matters a lot. When hunger hormones shift, behavior often shifts. When sleep improves, behavior often shifts. When estrogen changes, behaviors often shift. When inflammation decreases, behavior often shifts. And when the nervous system activation decreases, behavior often shifts. The body is not separate from behavior. The body is influencing behavior every second of every day. And this is one of the most important lessons that I wish more people understood, because shame disappears when understanding arrives. The conversation, it changes from what's wrong with me to what support might I be missing? And that's a radically different question and a much more compassionate perspective. Traditional Chinese medicine offers a beautiful lens here through yin and yang. Yang energy is movement, action, effort, doing, pushing, producing, and controlling. Yang energy is the lion. Yang energy has tremendous value. We need it, nothing happens without it. But yang energy without yin energy ends up becoming frantic, desperate, and forceful. Yin energy is different. Yin is restoration and containment, stillness and safety, nourishment and recovery. It's the body's ability to receive. And many women today are profoundly yin depleted. They're sleeping less, carrying more stress, working harder, supporting everyone else, ignoring their own signals, and living in a state of constant output. And then they wonder why their cravings are screaming. Because when yin energy becomes depleted, yang energy becomes frantic. The body begins searching for energy, comfort, regulation, relief, and safety. Food becomes the messenger, not because the body is broken, but because the body is trying to solve a problem. And this is where I want to gently challenge the entire cravings conversation, because what if cravings are simply not weakness? What if they're just evidence of unmet needs? Sometimes those needs are emotional or relational. Sometimes they're nervous system related, hormonal or metabolic, and sometimes they're all of those things at once. The body is rarely asking only for food. Sometimes it's asking for sleep or regulation. Maybe it's asking for safety or support. Perhaps it's asking for resources it just no longer has. And when we only answer with discipline, we miss the message. We keep trying to overpower the lion instead of listening to the mouse. The lesson isn't that everybody needs medication or hormone replacement therapy or some kind of fancy protocol or diet. The lesson is that biology matters. Your body matters, and the kind of support your body needs matters. And when support arrives, behavior often follows. The lion is not always the hero. Sometimes the hero is the thing that we overlook the most, the small, subtle thing, like the little mouse. The mouse wasn't powerful because she was big. She was powerful because she was connected to the thing that changed the outcome, the ropes, the actual problem. And many of us are discovering something similar in our own lives. We keep trying to become stronger lions when what we really need is to understand the ropes. And as a health coach, I have listened closely to the stories women tell for years, and they're remarkably similar. Because for decades, women have believed that they needed more discipline or control or more motivation or willpower. And then something changed. One woman chose to start sleeping. Another made the choice to address hormone issues. And yet another reduced chronic stress. Many clients I've worked with have improved nourishment. Many choose to really do the hard work of regulating their nervous systems. Some choose hormone replacement therapy and others choose a GLP-1. But some way, somehow, what they're doing, all of them, is creating some kind of safety in their life, safety that they need. And suddenly, the comment I keep hearing from clients again and again is, oh, well, now it feels easier. Not perfect, not effortless, just easier. And that word matters because healing is often recognized by the reduction of friction. And what fascinates me is how small some of those changes appear. A few more hours of sleep, a little more protein, more stable blood sugar, a little bit lower cortisol, improved estrogen balance, less inflammation, a calmer nervous system. These tiny shifts can produce massive outcomes. This is mouse energy. Small influences can equal very large consequences in the best of ways. The modern world often teaches us to chase dramatic transformation, but biology rarely works that way. The body responds to cumulative signals, tiny messages, adjustments, and tiny moments of safety repeated over time with consistency until the entire system begins behaving differently. Yang energy says, I must overpower my cravings, but yin energy asks, what is my body trying to tell me? Yang says, control it. Yin says, understand it. Yang seeks domination, yin seeks relationship. And healing requires both, not endless softness and not endless force, rather, balance, the lion and the mouse working together. And the next time a craving appears, I ask you to pause just for a moment and take one slow breath, and then ask, what support might be missing right now? Could it be sleep, protein, connection, estrogen or progesterone, nervous system regulation, blood sugar stability, rest, safety? Is this grief, loneliness, or exhaustion? The question itself changes everything because now you're not fighting the body, you're becoming curious about it. And curiosity often reveals what force never could. Your body is not your enemy. Your cravings are not a moral failure. Your biology is not a character flaw. The body is always communicating, always adapting, always attempting to move toward survival and sometimes toward healing. When we stop demanding obedience and begin offering support, the conversation changes, the current changes, and the outcome changes. The lion believed that power meant force, and the mouse understood power meant influence. One hormone, one night of sleep, one regulated breath, one moment of safety, one supportive intervention, or one shift in biology. Sometimes that's all it takes to start changing the entire story. Because the smallest signal, giving consistently, that can alter the direction of an entire life. And perhaps the deeper lesson of all of this is not that strength wins, not that force triumphs, but wisdom learns where the ropes are. And sometimes the thing that frees us is not the bigger effort, it's the better support. And the mouse knew that. And maybe our bodies have been trying to tell us the same thing all along. Your nervous system isn't resisting your healing. It may simply be waiting for the support that allows it to feel safe enough to begin. The current still runs through the cracks, and sometimes the smallest shift changes everything. Before we close, I want you to know that I will be sharing some reflective questions in the community tab tomorrow. You can use them for journaling, contemplation, or a deeper conversation with a trusted therapist or counselor if that feels supportive for you. There's no pressure to have immediate outcomes, immediate answers. Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit with the questions and leave space for them. You might find healing in the space. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with me today, luminous being. If something in this conversation resonated with you, I would love to hear your reflections in the comments. How did this information shift the way you view yourself, your body, or your current season of life? What expanded your self-awareness as you listened? Remember, these conversations are not about perfection. They're about learning how to listen more honestly to ourselves with curiosity, compassion, and clarity. And if this episode supported you in some way, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need these words as well. If you'd like to go deeper, I invite you to explore my free 5-day email course linked below, where ancient wisdom meets modern science to support your own health, nervous system, and wellness journey. And until next time, may you continue healing at the speed of safety.